It's hot. Okay, all right. Is she ready? Oh, there we go. Ready? All right. Calling to order the August 13th, 2018 Environment Utilities Commission meeting. I'm Vice Chair Brendan Leonard, standing in for Chair Sam Bivens this evening. Let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Are there any members of the public in the audience wishing to speak this evening? Please fill out a card up front on items that are not on the agenda. Seeing none? All right. Item 1A, introduction of Commissioner Sheridan as a full member of the Environment Utilities Commission. Are you, one of you two, taking that?
We just welcome you as a full member. There's no other formal, since you've already had oath of office and everything.
Right.
All right. We didn't get a cake, and I'm very sorry. It was hot outside, it melted. All right. Now, item 1B, introduction of alternate Commissioner Jamison Parker.
Okay, well, welcome, Commissioner Parker. And we have to complete the oath of allegiance. So if you can stand and just repeat after me. I, Jamison Parker, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Are there any presentations from the public for matters not on the agenda?
There are not.
Thank you. Any commissioner communications? All right. On the consent agenda for the meeting, approval of the meeting minutes of the April 9th, 2018 commission hearing. May I have a motion, or does anyone have any corrections?
I'll move to approve.
All right. Second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? No abstentions? All right, moving along. Regular agenda, item 3, consideration of presentation and discussion amending Title 13, Chapter 13.08, Article 4 of the Municipal Code relating to the maintenance and building services and sewer laterals.
The overhead projector is not working, so if you can look at your monitors, that would be great.
All right.
Good evening, Commissioner and Representative Commission. My name is William Roberts, and I'm the Public Works Operations Manager, and I will be presenting the proposed amendment to Title 13, Chapter 13.08, Article 4 of the Municipal Code, relating to maintenance of building sewers and lateral sewers. With that, let's get started. And please let me know if you see your screen so we can move on.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. First off, let's talk about the goals. Number one, I'd like to hear a staff presentation amending Chapter 13.08 of the Municipal Code relating to maintenance of building sewers and lateral sewers. Number two, provide feedback on the proposed language. I will discuss City of West Sacramento's background on sanitary sewer system ordinance. I will provide analysis of proposed changes and provide a brief summary of objectives and recommendations. Staff will be open for questions and comments from commission. The amendment process and goals: seek environmental utilities feedback, conduct introduction and first reading to council seeking guidance and feedback for September 5th, 2018. Then after that follows conduct second reading and adoption to council. Date is to be determined. And number 4, resolve conflict and ambiguity between sections 13.08.140 maintenance and 13.08040 definitions of the municipal code. A little bit of background. Number 1, Title 13, Chapter 13.08 of the West Sacramento Municipal Code, known as the Sanitary Sewer System Ordinance, was originally adopted by the city upon its incorporation from the District Code of the East Yolo Community Services District. We have roughly 25% of the total length of sewer systems or system and are often in poor condition. Number 3, in the city of West Sacramento, as in many other cities in the United States, maintenance of lateral sewers is the responsibility of private property owners. Nonetheless, the city has historically maintained the portion of lateral sewers in the street right-of-way or dedicated public easement and ending up to the cleanout at the property line. Number 4, lateral sewers that are out of the city easement have always been maintained solely by the property owner. Often, however, staff in the Public Works Operations Division performs maintenance of these laterals due to calls from property owners reporting clogging of side sewers. Number 5, cleanouts is also an essential component of the sanitary sewer system. The purpose of the cleanouts is to provide access to the sewer service so that blockages can be removed. Talk roughly about the analysis. Number 1 right here, sections 13.08140 of the code, maintenance, indicates that maintenance of side sewers, which includes a lateral sewer, is a responsibility of the property owner. However, section 13.08040 under definitions states that city is responsible for maintenance of lateral sewer. Thus, there's a conflict between these two sections of the code. So number 2, so why the changes? The proposed changes to the code are in response to an ongoing confusion and misinterpretation of the code from customers. And to accomplish this, 2 new definitions are introduced in the code defining lower lateral and upper lateral. Let's talk about the summary. So upper laterals are the portion of a side sewer beginning at the plumbing or drainage outlet of any building or industrial facility and running to the existing city cleanout. The lower laterals are the portion of a side sewer connecting the main sewer and existing city cleanout. Building sewer means that portion of a side sewer beginning at the plumbing or drainage outlet of any building or industrial facility and running to the property line or to a private sewage disposal system. The lateral sewer, which includes the laterals, is a portion of a side sewer lying within a public street connecting a building sewer to the main sewer. And side sewer means the sewer line beginning at the foundation of a wall of any building and terminating at the main sewer and includes the building sewer and lateral sewer together. This all probably sounds really confusing, so the next slide hopefully will clear it up for you. So if you see it, here's a building, house. So if we go back to the terminology I just explained, so if you look on, I wish I could have a pointer, but there you go.
Use this.
Okay. So if you see my mouse pointer where it says building sewer, it means that portion of a side sewer beginning at the plumbing or drainage outlet of any building, where'd it go? There it is. which is your house, or industrial facility and running to the property line or to a private sewage disposal system. So from this point here to the property line is called the building sewer. The lateral sewer, which are laterals, is a portion of a side sewer lying within a public street connecting a building sewer to the main sewer. So here, you all see my mouse pointer?
Yes.
Okay, so the lateral sewer, as you see, it comes to the main sewer, the public right-of-way, and extends over to the property line. That is called the lateral sewer. The side sewer, as I point here, means a sewer line beginning at the foundation wall of any building and terminating at the main sewer and includes the building sewer and lateral sewer. So what that means is this section here from the building house, the house connection, all the way to the main sewer, the city of West Sacramento. So basically, it's the whole entire side lateral is the terminology for side sewer. The lower laterals are the portion of a side sewer connecting the main sewer and existing city cleanout. So as you see here, the lower lateral maintained by the city starts here at the city main sewer, extends to the cleanout, which is here normally 1 feet or 2 feet behind walk. And we also call this a point of service. The upper lateral are that portion of a side sewer beginning at the plumbing or drainage outlet of any building or industrial facility and running to the existing city cleanout. My mouse keeps disappearing, sorry about that. So the upper lateral maintained by the property owner is this portion from the house connection all the way to the cleanout, so which is a point of service. A lot of confusion was who maintains the side lateral, which is a side sewer, the whole entire sewer. To get rid of that ambiguity and the confusion, the cleanout is basically the property line or the point of service. From this point all the way to the main sewer, the lower lateral is maintained by the city. The upper lateral, which extends from the house connection to the cleanout, is maintained by the property owner. Next slide. So the upper lateral sewers shall be maintained by the owner of the property served thereby. Lower laterals connecting to a single-family units shall be maintained by the city. However, where no cleanout has been installed or has been installed incorrectly, the entire side sewer shall be maintained by the owner of the property served thereby. The lower laterals connecting to commercial and multiple dwelling buildings shall be maintained by the owner of the property served thereby. So let me make this clear. Although it states lower laterals are maintained by the sewer and upper laterals are maintained by the property owner, it's in the best interest of the City of West Sacramento operations that sometimes when we go out there, we have it's called the sanitary sewer overflow, which is SSO. Our men and women respond to these calls, and a lot of the times there's sewage going in the streets. And so our first response is let's alleviate the blockage. So we're not going to say, okay, this is solely the property owner when, in fact, leaks are going on the street. So we're going to take care of it. We're going to knock it clean for them, which is a rod or a hand rod or a power rod. So I want to make sure that the customers know that Public Works, we're not pulling out. We're not saying that this is solely your responsibility. So we are still there. We always will be there, but they just need some more definitions on the upper lateral and lower lateral. Next slide. So here's a collection system 101 for the commission. So you can view this. If you see on top here, it shows the business, and here's a residence. Not much difference with the underground, except for in the business you see multiple, toilets and sinks and whatnot, and also you see a grease trap. Here's a clean out, and this should be a manhole. Usually it's a manhole on the business. So from the point of service from the manhole to the main, this portion here, the city will maintain. From this portion from the manhole, which is a clean out, to the business is the property owner or business owner. And this section here could be 2,000 feet away from the building or a couple feet. So it's all relative. The residence here, as you can see, we have a toilet and a sink. It comes down to the side sewer, which is a complete lower lateral here. We have a cleanout installed. So from the cleanout to the main, which is sewer main is here, is solely maintained by the city of West Sacramento. From the point of the cleanout to the residence is maintained by the property owner. And here it goes into the manhole into the wastewater treatment plant. Next slide. At this point, I would like to open up for questions and comments. This concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer anything I possibly can. Thank you.
I have a question. So if the city comes out, and let's say it did fall under the owner's section, is there a cost to them, or it's just something the city covers? Is this a result of also the city taking on too much expense when maybe it's not really their responsibility?
I think the situation dictates, but like I said before, if we don't want to put a burden on the homeowners, because it could be quite expensive to call a roto-rooter or a sewer service to come out there and unplug the lateral. We had a situation last week where it was a residence who, it was a leaking clean out. It was going into the city street. So the crews responded, and they're not going to sit there to determine, okay, whose responsibility is this when we know it's coming from the clean out when our main is clear, which means it's property owner. And to mitigate and to take care of the SSO for environmental reasons and for safety to the public, we will take care of the blockage. That's customer service. We'll never stop doing that. There's many cities around the nation experiencing a lot of questions like, well, if you're coming up with this, you're going to pull away, then the burden's on the homeowner. But City of West Sacramento will not do that.
And there won't be a potential cost to the homeowner, like a surprise cost?
If it's on their side and we determine that it is a failure in the pipe, we're not allowed to go on private property, which is the clean out to the house, the home. But what we will do is we'll determine if it is a breakdown or they need immediate repair, then we can actually tell the residents, look, here's what you can do to help them. But we can't actually go in there to make the repair, but we can unclog it.
And so they would never just receive a surprise bill for the work
No,
done? Okay.
not at all.
All right, thank you.
How common are complaints about this, and where do they come from? This is an area most of us, unless we have older homes in the city, we've never
Yeah.
experienced, so I'm just
Yeah.
curious how prevalent of an issue it is.
Usually in the wintertime, we receive a lot of calls due to fats, oils, and greases in the mains. Thanksgiving, people pour grease down the drains, and over time, it's like an artery, so your main clogs up over time. So a lot of residents, they don't know what a sewer spill is. They think it's a water main break or a water service line break, when in fact, it's an SSO, sanitary sewer overflow. Usually you can tell by the odor, and you see a lot of toilet paper along with it. So we'll get a call initially for like a water break. We go out there, determine that in fact it is an SSO, it's a sanitary sewer overflow, and we'll take care of it. So a lot of calls come in via the public, but it's mainly like water breaks unless we have a resident who's privy to the terminology of a sewer overflow.
Thank you.
Sure.
You also said that if the homes don't have a clean out, then they're responsible all the way from the home to the main, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Here's a caveat to that, though. If we do receive a call with a resident who has no clean out, we will respond and we will take care of the blockage, and we will install a clean out at the City of West Sacramento's expense. That once the clean out is installed, we'll inform the resident, educate him or her on where their point of service begins.
Okay. My mother-in-law recently purchased a home that was remodeled, and once we had a backup or whatever, then we found out the cleanup was never hooked up correctly, and so she didn't know until that happened. But,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good service that we provide to the residents, which I firmly agree in. I come from the city of Sacramento for 21 years, and we went through the same process, and a lot of residents were calling in. And but over here, I want to make it very clear that we were there for the public.
Good. Is there a way? Do we have a lot of homes without the clean out? A lot, maybe older homes.
Usually north of the Deepwater Channel, we have roughly 6,000 single. I have the stats here for you. We have 6,332 laterals in the north area, and roughly out of those, 20% have no cleanouts, which is roughly 1,200 cleanouts. That right now, we have a plan, a 5-year plan to go back there and actually install the cleanouts for the residents.
That was my next
So-
question. Thank you.
Sure.
I might just have a technical definition question. When looking at the figure, that's really helpful to see. Is there a difference between what you define as the building sewer versus the upper lateral? Because I mean, there's definitions for the lateral sewer, the lower lateral, the upper lateral, the side sewer, and then the building sewer as
Sure.
well. Is there a difference between the upper lateral versus building sewer?
Yeah, that's a good question, because all that is kind of confusing to the customer, right? So all the terminology is presently in the definitions of the municipal code. So we're not allowed to change that unless we're doing this right now. But, so we opted to leave that terminology in there to make it less ambiguous for the customers. So that's why we included the upper lateral and lower lateral, because a lot of customers were confused on the building sewer and lateral sewer and who owns what. When the point of service of the cleanout is. So as I was reading this presentation earlier today, with all the definitions, I'm like, wow, this is really confusing if you know anything about sewer. So that's a good point, and that's something we're looking at, actually, too. Is it a possibility that we can change it?
Right, I mean, does it make sense to take out lateral sewer and building sewer and just have definitions for lower lateral and upper lateral?
Sure, sure. It's redundant. Thank you.
Anyone? So I don't see any further questions from the commission. You're not looking for an action or anything? What?
I'm just looking for some feedback
All right.
going forward. We're going to have a first reading to council. I noted the date in here, but the first week of September, and after the first reading, we'll go ahead and proceed with the second reading, which is the adoption. So with the City of West Sacramento Public Works, we're looking for some direction, some feedback, what the commission thinks. So no direction, just feedback.
I think I do have a question. I believe I remember in the agenda item here, there was a mention of possible additional needs for staff. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. We thought to pinpoint the sewer laterals, the number that I pointed out was 6,000 of those, and 20%, which is 1,200. We'd like to get 2 additional staff. I mean, we have staff on hand, but it's taken away from the duties, day-to-day operations. The director, Dennis Ambio, and I were talking about basically if we can hire some students from Sac State or somebody that can actually, some temporary help that can assist in identifying some of these laterals. So, good point.
Sounds like a good internship opportunity.
It is. It's a great, gateway.
Some GIS work.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, seeing no other questions from the commission, we can close this item and move on to agenda item number 4, consideration of the integrated pest management strategies update.
Good evening, Vice Chair Leonard and Commissioners. I'm Paulina Benner, the Environmental Services Manager. The purpose of this item is to provide a brief update on the integrated pest management strategies the city has been implementing. This item was requested by Chair Bivens at the April meeting, so I'm disappointed that he's not here this evening to hear it, but at least he was able to read the report. As required by our 2013 Phase 2, this is always a mouthful, Small Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Permit, otherwise known as the MS4 permit, it's our stormwater permit, the city implemented a landscape design and maintenance program that is intended to reduce our use of water, herbicides, pesticides, and fertilizers during our city operations and activities. And to help reach those goals of the landscape design and maintenance program, we've implemented several integrated pest management strategies, which is also known as IPM for short. These strategies, as outlined in the report, include activities such as planting low water use plants to reduce the amount of water we use in our landscape irrigation. We're encouraging natural predators to control rodents in our city properties by providing nesting habitat for them through nesting boxes. We're using goat herds to clear weeds, as I'm sure you've all seen around town. We've been grass cycling for, gosh, I think over a decade at least, which allows clippings to stay on the grass and adds nutrient and organic matter back into the soil, which improves their health. And we've also had some training staff about IPM strategies and benefits. As you know, the most popular strategy has probably been our goat herds. They've had quite a following on social media over the past year as they've grazed about 296 acres. And one of our newest strategies, which is what prompted this item, is the installation of the 4 nesting boxes at Bright Park. And it appears that that strategy is working, as staff has told me that they've noted a decrease in the use of carbon monoxide, which is a current control method that they use, where carbon monoxide is injected into the burrows to kill rodents, but they've seen a decrease in that use since owls have taken residence in one of the boxes. Moving forward, we'll continue to implement each of these strategies and explore new strategies if we can see that they are cost-effective and manageable. We have a limited budget and limited staffing resource to do things that are kind of out of the norm, so it'll be a process. Many of these strategies are sort of a pilot program, and we'll just continue to evaluate and see what we can do to expand on these strategies. That concludes my presentation. Sam Cooney, who's our Parks and Grounds Superintendent, is here as well, as I am, to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks.
Questions from Mary?
Is it on? Okay. I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say that it's a really neat program that we're doing here in the city. I'm really it's interesting, and I've been actually, when we heard about it last time, I've been telling people I know about it, and they're really excited about it. So I've had some people try to go look at owls over at Bright Park, so.
Maybe someday we can put a live cam in there. We have, Sam and I talk a lot about what we'd like to see happen, of course, budget approval, of course, pending, but you can actually install cameras. I'm sure you may have seen on Facebook, there's some different eaglets and owlets throughout the nation that we're able to watch live feeds for. So I think that'd be really cool. We can have something like that on Facebook.
Seeing no other questions, we will move to the next item, which is just the general administration function. Our calendar, our next regular meeting will be October 8th, 2018. Do we already know that we have agenda items for that, or is there a chance that might?
I don't know about October 8th agenda, but I'll take this opportunity now to mention to you that we are planning to have a special meeting in September. There's an item that for council in early September that we'd like to bring before the commission that wasn't quite ready to come to this evening. So we're looking at either September 11th or 12th. I don't know if tonight we can maybe all look at our calendars, or if we can send an email to follow up tomorrow to find an evening that works for everyone so we can have a special meeting. And there could be an update in October on the storm drain master plan. I'm not sure. I'll have to check back with community development.
Are there any other reports from city staff?
No, I just wanted to mention the September meeting. That's
Okay.
my only report.
Okay. Any future agenda item requests from members of the commission? All right. Well, seeing no
Well, did
others-
you want to try to
Sure.
see either the September 11th or 12th, if that?
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
either day.
Tuesday or a Wednesday, because the Monday, the 10th, I believe, is our Transportation and Mobility
Correct.
Commission, yeah.
Either day works for me.
Okay.
Same.
Either day, yeah.
Okay. So we'll just send a follow-up email.
Tuesday wouldn't work for me.
So Wednesday was, everyone is
Perfect.
good for both days, Wednesday for Omar. Got it, okay. Thank you.
All right. And with that, bring this meeting to a close.